Hey, how are you, brother?
I'm very well. How are you? Very nice
good.
to meet you.
Hi.
Very
What's
nice
your
to
name?
meet you. Mike Spring.
Grant Bowler, Julie Benz.
I
Have we met
actually
before?
know
We've
who
met
you are.
before. Have we met
I've
before?
interviewed you on the phone.
Okay.
I don't believe we've ever met in person. I think I'd remember, probably. But I'm gonna break journalistic integrity for 1 minute. I'm huge fans of both of yours. Both of you.
Oh, thank you so
Ugly
much.
Betty, Atlas Shrugged, everything.
Oh,
I've
you're
been
a
there
good
through all of
man.
it. And I actually interviewed you for Punisher War Journal, but I've been a fan since, Buffy days. So
Awesome.
Buffy.
now we're
Buffy,
done with
there you go.
we're done with the gushing.
Okay.
And I'll get back to
Fanboyed up.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
Brother,
You know
I
what mean?
fanboyed last weekend over Ron Perlman.
Oh yeah.
And
He's
I even
awesome.
went, Ron, we have to have a photo. And he's like, oh, fuck, really?
Did you squee? You squee?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Oh, we all do it.
There you go. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, no, I do it.
Well, congratulations on the success of the show. First
Thank
of all,
you so
Thank
much.
you.
What are you allowed to tell us about what's coming up on season 2 for your characters?
Ta-da!
Season 2, I mean, we see Amanda in a much darker place. She's at the end of season 1. She lost her job. Her sister's disappeared, and she is struggling to redefine herself in this town and searching for Kenya. And she's not doing too well. It's a tough place for her to be in. I have something in my eyebrow.
No, you just had one straight eye.
And, thank you.
He's very considerate, isn't he?
He is.
Great speaks to Jim too.
Okay. Yes, hi.
No worries.
So Amanda's in a much darker place, and it's really great because I think in season 1 she was in many ways the Pollyanna of the show and the idealist and very much the heart of Defiance,
Yeah.
and we get to see her kind of ripped apart in season 2 and a much darker side to her.
She's the broken heart
And
of Defiance.
the broken heart, exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Used to be a copywriter.
Really?
Before I started acting, yeah, I wrote ads for a living.
Very cool.
Mate, I can make a tag or a hook out of anything.
He speaks in sound bites.
Yeah, I do.
That should be great. Great for an interview then. So.
Yeah.
And what about your character, Grant?
Nolan, I was just saying over there, season 2 for me, for my money, for my character, is the season 1 I would have loved to have made.
Okay.
In the sense that we went through a lot of evolutions when we were discussing the script, and for me, when I came in, Kevin had the verbal idea for a 7-page pitch that he was going to pitch the network on a script. So there was nothing but this thing in his head, 7 theoretical pages in his head on the script, and we talked a lot about tone. And where he'd kind of seen or liked me from for the job was a television series I did in New Zealand called Outrageous Fortune, which is very dark, very funny, but very dark. And so we talked about that. We talked about tone and how, how we wanted it to be, what the constraints were, given the material and where we were and, what time slot and everything else. And I had always pushed for a little darker. And everything being what it is, the first season I think came in at a really nice tone to introduce the series, given that we're basic cable and we're coming in where we're coming in terms of time slot and everything. But for me, my character, the show this season, is exactly what I was dreaming of when I got that 7-page theoretical pitch, and we're there, which is really, really nice.
Right.
We had a very successful first season. I think we delivered a really tight, fast-paced, concise, entertaining first season of drama. We learned as a unit, as an outfit, we learned what we do really, really well together, because every team's different.
Right.
Every team does, just like football teams. Every team does different things well. The Steelers apparently have a running game and have had for some time. So different cultures have their own thing, and we've learnt our culture. We know what we do. And the second season, we're coming in kind of all guns firing and executing exactly what it is we do well. So tonally, I think the show is right in the zone. The characters, for my money, Julie talks about her character, Amanda, and for my money, Amanda is now doing exactly what, like I would have loved to have always seen Amanda do.
Right.
Me too.
Yeah, and her, So I think we've kind of found that sweet spot, and it's a really, really nice energy. And also the story rightly so in the first series was about the survival of the town of Defiance. Now it's about the individuals. We've kind of gone, okay, we all understand the world, we understand the town, we understand what's at stake. now let's explore these characters, these individuals.
And let's open them up and reveal different sides to them
Right.
and see their guts.
Yeah, so the series, if you like, has become a lot more personal.
Great.
Yeah.
Julie, I'm going to direct one to you, and then I have one for you, Grant. But you know, Hollywood traditionally has been somewhat unforgiving for female actors. There's a lot of damsel in distress roles, and you've managed to avoid that for most of your career. And this is obviously a very strong, character. Is that part of what attracted you to the role, and is it gratifying for you to have been able to sort of be these characters who are always very,
Strong.
Yes.
Yes, it's actually a conscious choice. I mean, surprisingly, Dexter was an offshoot for me. We're playing the victim, but she still had strength within her victimization. But for me, I've been attracted to strong female characters, and what I loved about the script when I first got it was how complex all the female characters are in the show.
Yes.
That was the appeal for me. Was that here's a show where all the women are complicated and damaged and active and. And none of them are the mother-wife victim role.
Right.
And I have plenty of time in my career to play that. But the older you get, the less and less dynamic female characters they're writing. So for me, I consciously choose these kind of kick-ass female characters. So I love it. And I love doing stunts. I love doing all the action stuff. It kind of... I'm extremely competitive, and it feeds into that. And I'm also very athletic, so I love being on set and being physically challenged as well as emotionally challenged. To me, that's the dream role. And Amanda, especially in this season, is fulfilling all my fantasies of what I want to do as an actor.
Great.
But it was definitely been a conscious choice of mine to find dynamic female characters.
Yeah, she's Amanda this season is less Snow White and a lot more Sucker Punch,
Yeah,
isn't she?
That's
Yeah,
great.
she's a lot more. Do you remember Kobe
See,
Bryant?
sound bites. He speaks in
see that,
sound
I
bites.
see that.
Remember Kobe
He
Bryant
deciphers
said.
what I say and puts it in a way that I wish I had said it, and I'm going to steal it now.
Do you remember? You can have it. Do you remember my favorite thing Kobe Bryant ever said about the Lakers was last season? He was talking about Pau Gasol, the giant guard. And Pau Gasol's an amazing player, but Kobe Bryant in an interview said, "Yeah, at the moment, Pau's being White Swan. I need Black Swan." And I went, "Oh my God, I'm in love with both of you." Right? Like you just made a White Swan, Black Swan reference. Amanda this season, Black Swan, very
Yeah.
Black Swan. And and I've got to hand it to Julie because I've sat at tables. I've been acting for 25 years, and I've sat at tables for 25 years and listened to actors talk about how they really want to do more action, more stunts, and then gone to work and watched them cry when they broke a nail.
Right.
Just being completely honest. And this one is tough, and she's a trooper, and she actually turns up and she does the stunts, she does all her own stuff, and it's rough. Like she's a toughie.
I knocked him over. I almost knocked him over the
She
couple weeks
did.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
I warned him too. I said, I'm going to fall out, and I think he thought, okay, yeah. And then we went to rehearse, and we almost fell on our asses.
That's fantastic.
And I took that as a success. I was,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and that's to her credit because a lot of people will put their hand up and say, "Oh, I want to do more of this," and then they get it and they go, "Ooh, didn't really want it."
Right.
But no, Julie's been phenomenal.
As long as there's no water involved, I'm fine.
There you go.
But as soon as you put me in water, that's when I cry.
Now I just want to put her in water.